Isang paalala, ang video na ito ay ayon lamang sa aking sariling pananaliksik. Hindi ko nais na pilitin ang sino man na maniwala sa videong inyong matutunghayan. Kung hindi kayo kumbinsido sa mga impormasyon at taliwas ang inyong paniniwala sa kaalamang aking ilalahad, maaari kayong gumawa ng sarili ninyong pagsisiyasat para sa inyong kakontentuhan. Ang videong ito ay gabay lamang sa mas malalim na kaalaman at pag-intindi at hindi gawa ng isang profesional. Naniniwala ako na malaya tayong magbigay ng opinyon at suhestyon bilang malayang mamamayan ng Pilipinas. Maraming salamat po.
With one intention in mind, to annihilate the state of Israel. This is Hamas' primary goal. In this truth, there is no confusion. I speak as first-hand witness on Hamas and their intention. My father is one of the founders of Hamas movement. I was there when Hamas was born. I will be there after Hamas is I am not a part of propaganda. I don't work for nobody. I only represent myself. And on this authority, I speak. So don't be mistaken. And take my words very carefully. Hamas is committing a against this generation and the next generations to come. So blaming Israel is not going to solve the problem. Majority of the Palestinians blamed Israel. And as a child, I took it as a Quran. I took it as a holy scripture that Israel was our problem. But then as I grew up, I start identifying the enemy within, the religious authorities, the corrupt leaderships, who basically did not care about children, they did not care about Palestinians, they still don't care about nobody but themselves. And the world has been empowering them against the prey, against the victims. This has to come to an end. And I swear I will not before I see Hamas. Can I make this a goal to my life? They brutally people, putting needles under their fingernails, burning plastic on their bodies, putting off cigarettes in their skin. Screams of hundreds of prisoners over that period of time. It's unfortunate that my father helped establish such an organization. And I don't mean to dishonor him. I love my father and I will always do. I'm not here to dishonor my people. I love my people. But I cannot believe how far Hamas was able to travel in this madness. And we could not stop them. After I was released from prison, I made very hard choices. And I don't have the time to go through all my motives. But yes, I had many motives. Many motives to fight against Hamas, and I still do. And nobody can get in my way. Not even the United Nations. I end up working together with the Israeli intelligence for 10 years. We had a common goal. That goal was to stop bombing attacks. And they don't have a vision. That's the problem. Because nobody can satisfy their ambition. When they are waging a holy war, we are talking about a religious group that does not believe in political borders, that wants to annihilate an entire race in order to build an Islamic state. They want mass to go back to the street. And if you ask yourself, the guy that you saw earlier, Yahya Sinwar, this guy was released just recently, part of the prisoner exchange with Israel, when Israel had to release more than 1,000 Hamas members to return one Israeli soldier back to his mother. And Hamas had a taste to that. So they thought this time they can go and bring 200 hostages and more. So they can bring the only true democracy in the Middle East to its knees. This is why it's a very brutal war. For those who are in the intelligence communities, they understand the significance of this. And they know that that Israel cannot release more Hamas terrorists. Because this guy, you saw, Yahya Sinwar, he is the mastermind behind the attacks on October 7th? Or how can any of you validate or prove the release of mass back to the street so they can carry a lot more attacks and hijack an entire society, use hundreds of thousands of people as human shields? Is this our way of solving the problem? If we don't eradicate Hamas and other terrorist groups in Gaza this time and give Gaza back to the people of Gaza, we will give them legitimacy. We will show them that we are afraid. And tomorrow, they will come back with vengeance. What made Hamas attack this time a lot stronger than the past wars? Because under the international pressure, we had to negotiate with them. And we had to give them legitimacy. This is what encouraged them and gave them power. You know, Qatar, for example, it's a member of the United Nations, playing the mediator, etc. They could have fooled me. They are the ones hosting Hamas. They are the ones who have been funding Hamas. Russia, Musa Abu Marzouk, a Hamas top leader, was in Moscow just yesterday. Okay, to be more accurate, a week ago. Where democracies should be united in fighting such savages. All of us saw Hamas. You call a hostage situation, but you want the true term Hamas uses for this? Booty. It's not even hostages. It's not war prisoners who sees women as a property. This is how Hamas sees women. A property, something they can own. As they want to own territory, more territory. Their lust. Their lust. Their lust for power. Their lust for territory. I had to die many times in order to transcend this mentality. So we are talking about a big problem. It's beyond Israel. And here is the danger. And with this I will conclude. The danger if Israel fail their war in Gaza, which is a brutal war, because if it was open war, Israel would annihilate Hamas in no time, matter of hours, let's say days. Hamas is finished. But since Hamas strategy, it's a strategic thing of Hamas to take human shields, this crime cannot be forgiven. None of us should forgive this crime. So Israel now got stained by blood. This is what Hamas wanted to happen from day one. They wanted to sacrifice thousands of children so Israel can take the blame. Digging tunnels and bunkers under hospitals, schools, launching missiles. A Hamas misfire, how many people killed at a hospital, and they went so fast to blame Israel, and the rest of the world listened to them and listened to their propaganda. Nobody is concerned to check what is true and what is false. Whatever that serve our political and short-term interest, we go for it, not knowing that we are going against evolution. We are going against the collective consciousness of humanity. We're going against the interest of children, the defenseless children who has no one to speak on their behalf. They don't have the power to discern. And yes, they are dying. But who's causing all this death? Blame is the cheap way. It's the way of the coward. Those who have the courage, take responsibility. If you really care for the global security, and I speak as a person who was part of the counter-terrorism effort against radical Islamists. If Hamas is not defeated in Gaza, it will inspire many groups around the globe. They will see that few thousands of savages can blackmail the international community, the superpowers, and bring democracies to their knees. Many of them are watching now, and many of them are very happy about how the world is responding. And many of them are satisfied to see the state of confusion and fear and anxiety, this is the time to get united. Because if Israel fails in Gaza, all of us, we will be next. Thank you for listening, and thank you for giving me the opportunity. May God bless all of us and protect our children, not only the Palestinian children, but also the Israeli children. Bring the hostages back to their families. And may God bring peace to this divided world. Thank you very much for listening.